Hello from the land of TV. This is King Cool. Welcome to the Toast Reviews. For those of you who don't know how this works, I watch a movie, I put some in the toaster, and talk about the movie before my toast is done. And today, we're smack dab in the middle of Girls That Kick Butt Month. And so for that, I have watched, this time, Columbiana from 2011. As it was suggested to me by a co-worker who said he saw it on HBO and he really loved it. Which is nice. So I sort of based the whole month around that, because I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, you know, to get me to actually watch something someone suggests. But today, in the toaster, remember last week we had the French toast? Well, I froze some of it, and now we're going to cook it up in the toaster. Now, they don't fit this way anymore because the toast got squished, so we might have to do this kind of funny. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so the Columbiana is about Zoe Saldana as a little kid. Sees her parents get murdered, and then she becomes an assassin to get revenge on the gangster who killed her parents. Now I say that in one sentence. This movie decides to take a nice, breathy half an hour to establish this whole thing of her parents and this thing, and her getting killed and her escaping. Like, what happens is she manages to get to America because her father, just before she was killed, gave her something that helps her get into America, I suppose, to testify or something. But then, instead of staying with him, she escaped and then went to her uncle, who's also a crime lord gangster son of a bitch, and she's like, I want to become a murdering lunatic so I can get revenge. So now there's a couple things that get me out of a movie real quick if there's a theme. One of them, revenge. I hate revenge as a theme for a movie. It's so pointless. You know, everything. You think of all the movies you've seen about revenge, someone getting back at something or whatever, and think about one that, like, let's say The Prestige, which is about revenge, but I love it because it's about how destructive revenge can be and how there isn't an end to it. It just keeps going back and forth. It's not just whenever the movie ends, whoever the person you like best has the best thing. Then there's the having, you know, organized crime. They never call them organized crime people, but they gotta be, you know. If they're gangsters that kill people, it's like they're not just doing it for the hell of it. And then there's framing someone. At one point she sneaks into this thing to kill one of the underlings and leave a calling card. This calling card is this big orchid that she draws on people's chests in lipstick, and her name, I think it was Catalina or something. I don't remember. Did I write it down? No, I didn't. But it was Catalacta or something like that. Some word. Let's see how this is doing. You're not even thawed yet. Well, it seems to be getting further down, so maybe I won't have to flip it around. So, but her name is the name of this particular orchid that only grows in Colombia. So, it's like, you're being real friggin' obvious. Now, she's trying to send a message, sure, but I'm also sort of like, how obvious do you want to be? You know? That's almost just asking for trouble. And then there's a part where she goes to this other guy and he has sharks. And they actually have to talk about, well, if you put one drop of blood in that water, those sharks would love you. And it's like, yes, we get it. Sharks eat blood, even though the Mythbusters tested it and they don't actually like human blood. They like fish blood. Because they'd never get a taste for human blood otherwise. And, like, I'm going to go out and say this. I think I hated this movie. Because it just doesn't offer anything that I like. At one point, there's an FBI agent who's doing some research on what they think is a serial killer called the Tag Killer. I'm going to flip these around. They're not even that warm yet, so it's starting to curl. It's warm enough that I'd eat it, but I'm going to try to get the other side. And she eventually makes contact with this cop and says, all right, like, I need you to tell me where Don Luis is. And he's like, I can't. I keep reaching a CIA wall, because this guy's FBI. And he's like, alright, well, you're going to have to figure out a way to get past it, or else I'm going to kill your family. you know, just to do it, to light a fire under him. And I'm like, you know, if you would actually kill people who were innocent, how am I supposed to sympathize with you? Like, I like Zoe Saldana. Like, I liked her in The Terminal. She was one of the few things I liked in the Star Trek remake. But here, it's not that she's unsympathetic like a Michelle Rodriguez, where she's like, I'm bitter and gross and this or that. You know, I'm unpleasant to be around. It's not that. It's simply that there's no reason to sympathize with her. I'm like, I don't see why I would root for you any more than the real bad guy. I mean, it would be nice if this bad guy was taken off the street and theoretically killed you, but that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because he just killed your parents. You couldn't care less if he continued his reign of terror for the next 15 years, or what will happen after he's gone and possibly a power vacuum exists and other people take his place who you don't have a beef with. You know? There's really, this movie doesn't offer anything to me. Like, at one point, she's at home. She's like, she has her cheek is sort of puffed out because she has a lollipop in there, and it's interesting to even see a person hold a lollipop like that in a movie because they're always just licking it. But then she takes it out and then licks it with her lips so she can, you know, it's why it's just fetishism is what it is. And there's a scene at the very end where she's fighting some other guy, boom boom boom, they're having a big fight scene. But it is sped up so quick most of the time. Like, at one point she kicks this guy and knocks him down. It is super sped up. Now I was like, I don't know if she's very small, you know, and thin. So I was like, I don't know if she's going to be that convincing because someone's supposed to be able to kick butt. But on the other hand, like, I'm willing to go with it. I'll go with it. If it was Kristen Bell in this part, and they could somehow convince me, I can give these a little longer. And she could convince me that she could actually hurt people, I'm on board, you know? But they betray her with the special effects they have to use, the speeding up, and the constant juddery editing. Like, I'm not saying that every martial arts scene has to be simply an act of just a one long unbroken shot where it's just showing how incredibly skilled the actors are. I get that sometimes you simply want to present a story by angling cameras, cutting around and stuff, so I'm not saying everything has to be stage combat. But, so what this comes off as is just, you're just trying to baffle me by cutting around so much. That these cutscenes cut worse, I think, than the ones in Charlie's Angels were. Just in the sense that there is so much that they're trying to cover for, because I don't think anyone really, it was either just not shot properly, or they just could never execute the moves in a convincing manner, in any take. Is there anything else? This movie ends with Johnny Cash is hurt, and when I heard it at work one time, and I'm like, this movie had better be damn good to bring that song in. It's not as egregious as using Fortunate Son at the end of Battleship. I think it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, who proved this? But it still is like, no, this movie doesn't earn using this song. Alright, I think that's time. They're already cooked. I'm just trying to get them nice and warm. That's most of my notes, I guess. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't know if any modern jail cell actually has vents in the ceiling. So I don't think that that would work. Alright, I guess that's it. Did I write down extracurricular? I don't know what I meant by that. Extracircular? Huh, I don't know what I meant by that. Here we go. Thank you all for watching. If you have a suggestion for a suggestion month, let me know. You are falling apart. If you have a suggestion for a month you want me to do, go ahead and suggest it. We have one more for Girls to Kick Butt Month. And I was thinking I was going to do Haywire, I was going to do Hannah, but all three of these movies are from 2011, so I'm probably not going to. I'm going to try to get one from a different era. Just see what that is next week. Thank you for watching. This is King Cool. Drive home safe. Ha!